Greetings, everyone. How are you? Happy Sunday to you, wherever you are. I know that we are all, every one of us, are hurting right now. I know that the pressure sometimes feels like it's too much. I wear my little mom necklace that I got many years before losing my son from Earth. And a year and 2 months later, when I had to remodel a house and everything else, the grief. You wake up, and I'll just share my experience of grief. I wake up and I sometimes wonder, wait a minute, was I having a bad dream? When you're under fear, stress, grief, just pressure after pressure after pressure, which every one of us is right now. And I'm going to explain why. Little Pablo in the background there. I'm going to drink my little cup, my cup here from Speedway, my mud water, coconut cream powder. I will not be buying any more cans of coconut cream from Thai coconuts due to what's going on with the monkeys, to the best of my ability. Less than about a teaspoon of honey and filtered water. And then I've got chaga, cordyceps, reishi, and lion's mane in here. Okay. These are connectors. I'm a connector. I'm connecting with you. Connection is different than division. Regeneration is reconnecting. If I use machine language and the machine is unplugged from the wall, or it's no longer connecting with the internet for various reasons, right? It becomes offline. And when it's offline, it can't do what the machine is supposed to do. When your brain goes offline, one of the first things that happens, and I know this from experience, and I have a good degree of guilt and shame, for it often happened, not often happened, but it happened many times after I gave birth to my son, and his father, kind of played games and wasn't around and had excuses and had a new girlfriend, and I was frustrated. I had a super high pressure job as a paralegal that wouldn't have been super high pressure and burning me out. But now I also had an infant to care for that I wanted to care for, that I waited until my 30s. And that took me offline, and it created hostility, anger, enormous adrenal burnout. And then you start to become, your behavior becomes, not you, but your behavior becomes something you don't even recognize. What I felt from my behavior was guilt and shame. Oh God, I wanted to hide it. I didn't want anybody to know about it. It was toxic. I thought I must be the only miserable person in the world that's going through all these feelings and all of this hostility inside of myself. No, I wasn't. And no, you're not either. This is a splurge. You can also make it yourself. It's a lot less expensive than running to a coffee house and spending $5 or $6. Regeneration is something I do with my clients. I have made a decision that 2021 is going to be the last year that I offer consultations for clients, because it will be 37 years this year. So 2022 would have been 38 years. 37 years is where I'm stopping. It's where I'm going to retire. So 2021 is the last year to work with me one-on-one for most intents and purposes, okay? I work best When you order the hair tissue test and the consult, that's $250 right now. It takes you 5 minutes to clip the hair, put it in an envelope, seal the envelope for the lab, put it in the postage paid envelope, send it back to me. I get it to the lab with a payment. I have to pay for my own. I pay for yours. I get a patient report that comes via email. I send you the patient report with a code to open it up so not just anyone can see it. It doesn't have diagnosis codes on it. It tells me how quickly, how slow, or how quickly you are taking nutrients, whatever are left in the food system, and converting it into nutritive elements we call trace elements. There are 4 or 5 or so different labs that test hair. I carefully examined my choices, and I went with the lab that I use, Trace Elements. I looked at the founder of the lab that's had the lab for 4 years, who had a lab previous to this lab. I've looked and read every single thing he's put out and published, courses and DVDs, and that's the person that I am. This particular live stream is about regeneration from becoming weak, from being weak and weakened by the system, which is very predatory, to becoming exceptionally strong all the way into, like the thumbnail you saw, the caterpillar and the butterfly. The caterpillar made what? A transformation. I've made a transformation in my life that is so profound that I want you to know about it. So what I'm learning from you, sharing with me, is that I've gone so far into my journey, and I will break this down step by step, that I need to be crystal clear, because when I was in my 20s and 30s, I probably wouldn't have gotten it either. So it's like looking, and eventually you start to really appreciate abstract art. Well, I've become now like an abstract elder. I have esoteric aspects to me. I have very etheric aspects to me, as well as I can be very linear and straightforward when you need me to be. And I realize that when I do consults, I need to go into a very almost the legal Karen mode and deliver it straightforward. Because your schools have given you this for 12 years, your colleges are continuing it. We now have a world that if you don't have a shiny shingle, a paid for credential from a college and university, which means something, I like mine, but it's not everything. Like I said, I could go into the back bush and be around Jamaican Rastas and feel 10 times more comfortable than I would in a room full of polished, shiny Americans that are massively educated. I would feel more comfortable. And so it is that in my lifetime, I can go to what a lot of people call the hood, the ghetto, whatever, and I can speak very comfortably. I can go to the highest level boardroom and polish myself up, and I'm extremely comfortable and very, very well versed in that form of communication and that form of body posture and that pretense, even, if you will. I had an office in judges' chambers for a year in Santa Cruz County, helping the 7 judges. I worked directly with the DA, Alan DiFilippo, and the research attorney at that time, Julie Colura, in Merced County, California, for over a year there. I worked in a specialist firm for 10 years. I worked in a huge firm called Robinson and Wood in San Jose when I was going through college as a legal secretary. So I've put on the part. But in 1984, Pamela Masters is the one that made the most pivotal change in my entire life. And when she broke it down week after week and had her blender out there and made us something, and at first I thought, oh God, that looks like it's going to taste horrible. It's green and nasty looking, ew. all I'd ever known was eating the mainstream American diet. I didn't know food preparation. I didn't know all the fancy tools and stuff that I use today that took me, because I'm fairly mechanically challenged, and I've had to push myself to become more mechanically savvy. So starting in 1984, 37 years ago, is a long time, isn't it? That I started to see that when I ate differently, I felt differently. I thought differently. I emoted differently. My energy was different. Walking across campus at West Valley and eventually San Jose State and University of California, Santa Cruz, and Merced College and Mission College, Cabrillo College, Fond du Lac College. I've gone all of them. I've finished courses. And virtual colleges, Stanford and Harvard and Cornell, offer free courses that you can put your earpods on. You probably know this already. So you can, remember the movie Lucy? And she just kept taking it in and taking it in until she just completely metamorphosed. She changed. She metamorphed. You are going to morphologically, in all ways, every way, you're going to change. You're going to rearrange. Oftentimes, you're going to repair genetic material when you regenerate. So if I've got a battery and I'm out camping and I need that battery to blow up my blow up bed, my blow up tent, my blow up life, and the battery is degenerated, the generator is no longer working. I can't plug it in anywhere. It's not putting out any power for me. It's not solar, so I can't plug it into a wall. What am I going to do, right? I can't generate energy. If you go so far, generation after generation in your family, and mom and dad are stiff, and mom and dad can't think, mom and dad are already, I see the pictures. I see mom and dad sitting in the damn chair. He can't even get up out of the damn chair. It looks like. Fat, obese. Okay. I remember going to my grandmother's, my paternal, my father's mother. And eventually we would go in there to celebrate, her birthday or whatever it was. And she was laying in the bed, not because she was infirm, not because she was ill, because she no longer had the energy to get up and the wherewithal, which was so unlike her. When you regenerate, you're going to have energy to walk the dogs, to clean the house, to do the study, to pursue your motivations, passions, your interest, and beyond that. When this becomes your way of life, your lifestyle, in today's little, linear words, my words, when it becomes your way of life, you will become something far different than you can comprehend right now. Because when the brain is detoxed, and you can show it on the hair tissue report, when the brain has had the copper brought down, especially for a lot of you that are vegetarians and vegans, like I was predominantly a vegan in the last 37 years. I did eat fish, but not meat. I didn't eat eggs. I didn't have TV. In 1984, I was like, TV's out. Never allowed a microwave, never put on sunscreen. I don't do games. I've had every opportunity to have PlayStation, Xbox, games on my phone, whatever. I said, I don't even want to start down that path because I know it's addicting. Regeneration means you can think again. It means you can go back online, meaning you can connect with nature. You can connect because your antenna's up. See how my poofy hair here? You can connect with the ancestors. They don't want you to. They don't want you to become intelligent. Inside, you're informing yourself, and the lot of us, all of us, are so keenly self-informing that the word smart, smartphone, smart TV, smart devices. Hey, she's really smart. Please don't call me smart. Please. It's not a compliment. I'm not smart. I'm intelligent. I'm self-informing. And moreover, this is very, 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 very important. Very important. I trust myself. Did you hear me? I trust myself. The reason I brought you the video I brought you yesterday was to understand, not understand, not good morning. Yes, I am mourning. I'm mourning the loss of my child, but I'm not going to get up and good death you every day. For those of you that haven't caught on to word sound. Oh, I know this. Why does she have to, get off and all these things, because my brain is capable, even in the mayhem of losing my child 14 months ago and barely beginning to even start grieving until this September because of putting out fire after fire after fire. And my son led me through each one of them to greater expressions than I believed I could ever realize. And he is still leading me. So when I told you I'm not doing consultations, this is my last year. That's it. What does it mean to regenerate? It means that you put your brain back online. We just talked about that. It means that your gut is functioning really well. It's strong and it's capable. It means that your trace elements are managing your ability to manage your blood sugar levels. How many people got diabetes? There's your ACE right there for indication. So ACE for indication, diabetes. Bless up. Good to see you, Fairy. It means that your adrenals are balanced. It means that you're a mixed oxidizer. It means that you can take food, take the nutrients from the food and convert it into energy, convert it into what you need. It means that you can get your thyroid up and pumping, even though it might take you a little bit of time. It means that you can keep your blood clean. It means eventually that once you start to defrag, you become so energetically powerful. You don't have to brag. You don't have to put a costume. You don't have to put all the dots on your face. You don't have to do any of that stuff in 2021. You could look like an average person walking down the street, which I've learned is actually sometimes a little bit better. I dressed the part, let me tell you, in my 30s, long flowing dresses, combat boots, ripped fishnets, a little bit of red lipstick. I mean, I was young and beautiful. Beautiful, long, beautiful, flowing, thick ringlet hair. Lots of braids, braiding in the last 30-something years, African braids. You can look the part, or you can be it. So when you regenerate, one of the first things that starts to happen, like I said, is your gut strength, management of your blood sugar, your thyroid, your adrenals. And many of you, as I started to say, that are vegans and vegetarians, your copper levels are so high that you can't make sense. You can't make sense for yourself. You can't make sense for other people, so they just don't understand you. And who doesn't understand you the most? Those that have become brain lateralized, those that if you take the two hemispheres of the brain, and you got the left side and the right side of the brain hemisphere. And once a lot of these chemicals damage you through the injections, remember we have to speak in code now. So that's why I've got to talk this way. And now you're pulling over and you're way over in the left brain. Man, you can't handle creative, abstract. You think you can. You think you're creative, but you're not. Because when anyone else starts to get really abstract and starts to tell you what is truly possible, you can't handle it. And I'm not cutting you down. So these are where's the studies? Where's the proof? Where is and I just want to go, I love you. I do. And I get it. I understand where your mentality is, because it hurts to be you. It hurts to be where you are. It's no fun. Where's my proof? Where's your credential? Are you a doctor? Okay. And these are you an anti-vaxxer or a vaxxer? Are you an anti-masker or a masker? I'm like, hey man, don't put me in the category. Don't put me in the category. I'm a common sensor. That's what I am. So when this way of life has been your way of life, even if you weren't brought up like I was into, these are omens, little Karen. These are auras. Of course you hear the ancestors, little Karen, who was 4 years old. I was told what was coming. Many of you weren't. Most of you weren't. I was put through martial arts for years. So I have got to trust myself. If, like the movie Avatar, you were able to go all through the forest, which you were at one point, anyone around you was not going to be a hostile spirit because they weren't fucked with, they weren't jacked up. Got to throw in a fuck word once in a while, because I'll tell you what, I was speaking with another mother, as a side rail her for a minute. I was speaking with another mother, Jody, who I love dearly. And she was like, I'm just going to fuck all over the goddamn conversation. She goes, I'm so pissed that I've lost my son to opiates and heroin. And it was such an absolutely crazy ass journey. And I said, you telling me? I'm spun energetically. I'm spun out. I'm in so much pain. No, most people have no idea. Most. But she does. She knows. So, as someone who made her living in a business, helping other people, and heard hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of your shares, your story, your heart, your pain, saw your tests, heard your symptoms, read through hundreds and hundreds. I just took a huge container with hundreds and hundreds of paper wellness forms. We can't be in business 37 years without having seen probably thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people. Or it wasn't a business, it was a hobby. It wasn't 1 or 2 years or 5 years, or, I just kind of started getting into making vegan brownies. I've been into this hardcore for 37 years, and I've been into this life, intuitively, perceptively, building into being a legit, real shaman, one who connects with the field, one who connects with the ancestors, one who is all about energy, who is about medicine. You begin as a medicine woman, but you will go through, and if you call yourself a shaman, you will go through, make sure you're truly aware of what you're going to go through when you use that word. Don't take it lightly. Don't sugarcoat it. So she used F, in the car. And I said, go for it. I'm cool, I am far past the woman, 10 years ago that's like, I really don't like cursing. I don't like cursing. Who wants to hear it? It's negative. It's toxic. But sometimes you're just in that place where you're like, the F word describes what we're all being right now, which is being dominated. You go to the dog park and they're all trying to get on each other, and get on each other's back. They're trying to dominate each other. It's not that they're all sexual. Some of it's sexual, but most of it is domination. So to fuck is to dominate. So when you have, let me back up. If I had you in my center, like I had a young man at my house for almost 2.5 years, like I had several people that I took under my wing for periods of time, months at a time. They lived with me. They ate my food. They learned how to shop with me. They learned word sound. They learned a great deal about medicine. They learned a little bit. If I had you in a center or a living community, we all lived in an earthship, or we were doing a center, and you wanted to work at the center. So hey, Fire, you're eating. That is Luna's food, so we're going to pick that up for a minute. Fire's eating Luna's food. Look. Fire, you cannot eat Luna's food. Okay? Luna's on the couch over there going, go for it. We have like 6 or 8 people here, so thank you very much for joining me. If I had you in a center, and we began baby steps to detoxify you in the very beginning, got your hair test done right away, got it done periodically in intervals, which I know to do. And I began to show you what we needed to do, that we don't want to just do replacement therapy. Oh, your sulfur is low and this is low and that's low, so we're just going to start replacing those. It doesn't work like that. And it takes you years upon years to read through some of these people and to really decipher, because it's not something that's concrete. Bless up, Lola Blondo. Good to see you, my sis. It's not concrete. It's not like you always do A, you always do B. So if you're in my center and we do the baby steps, we do the hair tissue test, we start learning word sound, we don't get up and go, good morning, Okay, I've been clenching my teeth a lot, so they're in bad shape. Good morning. And you live in an environment, you walk outside and people say that, you just like, hey, greetings. If I forget what to say, I'll say greetings, or every once in a while I'll even say good morning back, okay. But when you're regenerating and the brain starts regenerating and you're around someone who's got you out in nature every single day and you're off of the couch, you're away from the TV, you're not throwing your stuff in the microwave, you're not eating all this processed food, this clutter clearing starts to happen. And it takes a minimum of 2 years for just the initial phase to activate, to where you can start to get clear enough to where your intuition, your brain detoxification, the brain firing starts working well enough that you've got the GPS system that I speak about, this guidance and protection system that's constantly on star inside of you, so that when you're walking around, and at least if you're not under massive stress like I was, you're hearing. So even though I was under massive stress, I had apparitions, I had premonitions, I had precognition, I had omens that were on the path, including the Halloween mask, the rest in peace that came right in front of the door of my car, upside down with the snow on it, and I picked it up and looked at it, and it was capital letters, RIP, rest in peace, with a red devil. I got pulled over by the state trooper. I never get pulled over. I have a spotless record. You're going a little fast, so I knew it's coming fast. It's coming fast now. Now it's coming fast. Well, no, he's been clean for almost 3 months. Okay? What matters is the intention behind the words. Right. So once we're all detoxified from the systems harboring us within a certain mentality and a certain frequency, then we are not going to use that word sound, not just because that word sound doesn't matter what they want to use, doesn't matter. It does matter. Here's why it matters. It matters because if we're always good deathing each other, if we're always going, can I get it straightforward? If we're always using word sound that is limiting obstructive, and de-energizing. It creates an image and a space that is much more limited than we want to be in. So ultimately, we would have been using selectively and only, we would have been using telepathy, which is our language. Telepathy is our language. We're all capable of it. But if you've been seduced and induced into word sound power that's gone corrupt, and food that's gone corrupt, and soils that have gone, soils are our immunity. Without nutritive elements in the soil, without rebuilding the soil, even though they come up with the NPK fertilizations, the nitrogen, the phosphorus, the potassium, NPK, in the soil, adding that was helping a bit. But keeping our soils in high nutritive balance, keeping our mind so in high balance, defragging it from what has been injected with thimerosal and formaldehyde and aborted tissues and infection is important, is it not? So I could tell you, stand here for the next 4 hours and tell you experience after experience that I've had with clients on the tables. That's why my book's called My Side of the Table, my first book. And share with you, giving names, verbatim what the ancestors told them, high-level medical intuition, not just you've got bone cancer, but you've got stagnation, it's right here, and this is what's going on here. And I moved this for you, and you had some heart blockage on the left foot on the, the large metatarsal, and I worked that through, underneath the big toe, and I kind of pushed that through. And this is what I was giving people for 17 years now. I'm retired out of that. This is the last year, and then I retire out of consultations. 2021's it on that, okay? You, through word sound, through detoxification, through regeneration, can elevate your brain so that your empathy is not callous and bitchy. So you're not secluding and reclusing and isolating from others and making excuses for it. Because there's no such thing, hear me good, as an introvert and an extrovert. This is ludicrous. It's laughable. There's no starseeds and indigos. And this is what I call magical thinking that I myself was seduced to believe in my 30s. I worked at Santa Cruz Waldorf. I love Waldorf. My son was in kindergarten. He would have been 25 last August. Steve's kindergarten at Santa Cruz Waldorf. I worked in the office at Santa Cruz Waldorf with Melissa and Sarah Walsh. Your son's an Indigo. I was like, wow, really? Whoa. And I went, and for years, yeah, my son's an Indigo. Yeah, he's an Indigo. And then I brought on hair tissue testing. And I started reading. And I've read a lot. I mean, a lot. Probably more than most people I know. Legit. It took me a long time to say that, but after 37 years, and I look at what all I've read, and I'm like, whoa, okay, now it's a lot. I'll look at the hair tissue testing, and I read one man in specific who said, no such thing, because when you're oxidizing like you're supposed to, when you've got the nutrient elements balanced, there's no such thing as an introvert. You would always be someone who was highly creative, who made beautiful food, who applied themselves without hesitation, who had phenomenal intuition, which is what I've enjoyed, who had exceptional perceptive abilities, who loved to think more about communication, who could easily take one look and see exactly what's going on inside of any one of you. Any one of you. can take a look at your picture and I can tell you, bank, 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 bank. Okay? There isn't any one of us that's getting through unscathed. And some of it is temporary, right? My grief isn't temporary, but my exhaustion is. See the difference? So, self-actualization, the thumbnail of this, I'm going to be really concrete here. Concrete, because I like to be abstract, creative. I prepare all kinds of foods without a recipe. That wasn't me in my 30s. Mm-mm. So don't expect, well, how come I don't have it? Well, she thinks she's bragging. She thinks she's all that. Yes. When you get to a level where this is your way of life, you will love yourself in a humble way. You will think, yeah, I'm proud of my accomplishments. I'm thankful for my energy. I'm thankful that I pursued what I did. And yes, I hear I'm on track, online with the ancestors every single day. Oh, thank you. Bless up, sis. I really appreciate that. I'm not giving up consulting with people because I'm hurt. I'm just realizing that I need to get to the center. And I'm realizing that our people have gone so far into degeneration. And there's so much out there on the field when it comes to the keto diet, the paleo diet, the Mediterranean diet. Get slim now. You want to lose weight, don't you? But where's the love? Where is you want to balance you? So, what do your levels say on the test? Are you doing a good job based on what you're doing? I don't care what you want to do, with the exception if you're hurting animals unnecessarily. We don't have to factory farm animals. There's no need to put them through horrific, heinous daily lives as if they're not a living, breathing being. That in itself, in and of itself, is the evidence, res ipsa loquitur, the act speaks for itself. Res ipsa loquitur, the act speaks for itself, that's Latin. That they are sitting there cold, freezing, not even fed real food, they don't have sunlight on the body, they can't enjoy their own young. That's quite different from going out and hunting and getting your food and picking the weakened animal out of the herd so that you can survive and make food for your family out in the wild. That's quite different. Well, we've always been meat eaters. Well, that's okay. Some people have. And some people will always continue to be. My blood type, I don't do so well on that. You know, I am eating a little bit of fish right now myself. I'm eating a little fish right now because I'm following my hair tissue test and I'm looking to see what it is that I need in specific. Okay. So yes, if you follow regeneration and you find, like I've got some folks I know very close to, that the empathy level is down at a zero almost. They can't connect. They just, nope, just pull up. Nope, not going there. And I'm in a mom's group where hundreds of thousands of us have lost our children to earth. And they're like, what the hell is up with our friends? You know, they don't call, they don't check on us, they don't even seem to care. And I'm like, hey, it's real. It's real. It is what it is. You're going to have to find maybe that you graduate, you know, and this is what they gave to me. And now I'm giving back as well as a veteran, year and 2 months into losing a child, which is excruciating. Regeneration is it. It's the only thing you can do. And so when you hear a tissue test, which I just sent mine in, very close to sending in someone else's and their child, and someone else, a woman in Ohio with her son, because I don't know what's going on with my son. So all of you individually in your homes are wondering why your children are doing X, Y, and Z and A, B, and C, right? I don't know any of you, and I know two people on here really well right now. And I know that those that were in my son's age group, so he'd be 25 right now, are talking anxiety, depression, fatigue. They're sitting on games. They don't want to get up. They don't have energy. They don't want to go outside on the walk with you most of the time. They want to eat what they want to eat. They're going to still drink out of their aluminum cans. Energy drinks were marketed to them. What a damn shame. So we wouldn't have allowed the convenience store food, the hot dogs, the energy drinks and the soft drinks in the aluminum cans, the sugary bone eating, whatever. I've given people, assignments, so to speak. Do this every single day and build. They can't do it. They can't. It's not that they won't. They can't. They don't have the energy to do it. They got the energy to go to the market, to eat and shit, and to do a few things. But I don't know what they're going to do if they're forced to go into employment and become solo parents. And the other one pops off. Now they've got parents to take care of. The other partner popped off. And now they've got all these problems and their child's a teenager. Okay. You try and you try and you try and you try to prepare them. But in their mind, it's never going to happen to them. Never. Okay. So, you find out when you're at your absolute lowest in life who's really got your back. And I am going to be looking for others who, and I've found actually several, who want to be nomadic, at least part-time, if not full-time. We're going to have to see what's going on. If we keep allowing our people to become more degenerated and more controlled and more actively engaged in fear and psychological operations, and then further reduced with something called a vaccine that's not a vaccine, right? And now my videos, you can't even see or find my videos unless you're logged into an account, because YouTube has put censoring and restrictions on them. They emailed me the other day with that. So that's all I had to say. We're at 42 minutes. You can regenerate over a period of years to a point where your intuition is so good, so great, that most people won't believe you once you've also got more years under your belt, we'll use linear language, of displaying it and guiding other people with it. I literally, once I make a connection and I know someone's energy signature, I've spoken with them, I've had them on the video, we've connected, even bilocational, multi-locational. I can sense and feel that person. They'll write something. I always want to say, yeah, I know. Okay. And they're like, what do you mean you know, right? Well, yeah, I know. Because I'm sensing you telepathically, energetically, in a way that you're not used to hearing most people communicate about, right? We're supposed to believe our people are just dead and gone. Doors closed, just gone. That personality, those memories, that individual is just gone. They went up to heaven. Oh, they're still here. They're still here. You can hear them. Okay. Their persona evolves into something very, very great. It's not the simpleton that was just one vesselized Zawa. Now, and he's told me, Mama, one thing leads to another. And I have watched him take me through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've gone through about 25 doors that I know for a fact he opened. I mean, they're so fabulous. Just can't believe it. So I'm going to go with what he says. This is the last year I do consults. And little by little by little, I'm going to find those who have high degrees of empathy. Probably not on Facebook. Big mistake. I'm going to find those with high degrees of empathy that can really be there and wrap their arms around you and love you and make you just as important as you make them. Okay? I give, you give, you give, I give. I mean, that's the way it is, right? So take good care and make it a wonderful Sunday. Sending love to you all.